everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with a design team post from Scrapping for Less. I am going to be making this adorable pop-up card using the Sunny Studios Home Sweet Gnome stamp set that I used earlier in the month. I am going to be using the Lawn Fawn Knock on Wood 6x6 inch paper pack. Those are all the wood grains, and they have some pretty rustic color, so dark brown, light brown, yellow. It's almost kind of like a burnt yellow, burnt orange, green, and turquoise colors with it. I am going to be using some of those sprigs that I had left over, so the Paper Smooches Loopy Leaf Die that we got in a Scrapping for Less kit, and then the Spring Sprig die from Lawn Fawn that I used to make some of those sprigs there. And I'm also going to be using Nouveau Dream Drops in Dragon Scales on this card. And then I used Copics to do all of the coloring on here. Now I sped the coloring up pretty fast because my coloring is not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination. I like to do a little bit of shading and hope at the end of the day that it actually makes sense. And I do end up using one other color. I used Y35 that I brought down that you'll see in a little bit, and I used that just to put in some color for the windows so that it looks like the light is shining out of the windows of the little pumpkin house. And that is really about it as far as the coloring. Now, before anybody tells me or messages me about my card, I know that it's wonky because it's a vertical card, and then when you open it, it's horizontal with the pop out. And I'm going to be really honest with you that I did not even realize this or think about this until after I completely finished the card and my husband opened it and looked at it and kind of looked at me like, why is this like this? I don't know why I didn't notice it. I don't know why I didn't think about it. But then I thought, one, that it was too cute not to keep anyway, but also I kind of think it made sense. Like when you opened it, you kind of turn it a little bit, and then you have that whole scene there. So maybe that's just me, but I was actually okay with it after I kind of looked at it again and thought about it, and I thought it was really kind of cute. So after I finish up the coloring though with this, you'll see that I have the pieces already cut out, and I'm going to be using the Lawn Fawn Stitched Hillside Pop-Up and the little picket fence border. Now I cut the border out in the dark brown because that just kind of worked perfectly. I kind of thought about doing the white picket fence, but then I thought the brown was cute, especially with, I don't know, gnomes. I don't know, I just thought it made sense. So I used the dark brown for that. And then I used the green to actually cut out the stitched hillside pop-up to make it look like grass. I used a yellow card base, so I didn't have to put anything in the background. It just kind of looked like it was sun instead of just using a white and I was thinking about doing some Distress Oxide blending, but I do that on almost every single card that I make because I do love it. That probably is one of my favorite techniques. But I thought that the yellow worked out perfectly. And then, like I said, I used some of those sprigs that I had previously cut out, and I kind of put them in the background as the trees. So I think that worked out really well. So I also used a stitch circle die just to cut out a piece in the front for the front panel. I used a piece of the turquoise, and then I used one little gnome on the front of the card, and I didn't want him hanging out there by himself, so I put some of these sprigs down to just give it a little extra oomph for him to kind of be sitting in. And then when I was doing the sentiment, I was originally going to just pop it right on the top of, or on the panel, and then I decided to kind of make it a banner. So I end up using the sentiment, "Gnome one makes me smile like you do," on the front of the card. So this is where you kind of see I was going to just put it on the front of the card, and then I decided afterwards, now I think I'm going to stick it on the banner. So the banner is about 3/4 of an inch wide, and it's 4 inches long, so it goes across the whole panel of the card, not the card itself, but the whole panel. And like I said, the card base I just used kind of a light yellow. I'm not sure what color it is. It's just one that I had in my stash. for that. And then I'm going to get onto the inside. So first I put down a whole piece to be like the ground that the pop-up is going to sit on, and then I added the fence border. So first you're going to fold up that bottom piece of it, and you're going to make it a mountain. And then with these parts in the side, or not in the side, but the hillsides themselves. So the back one, you're going to, there's two little score lines. The die gives you all of the score lines, and you're going to score a mountain and then a valley. So down and then up with the score line. And then you're going to score those little tabs both down, or mountains. Then you place the tape on to that big panel, and you're going to butt it all the way up against the fold of the card. Then you're going to put tape on those little tabs, but just the bottom of the tab. You don't want it on the kind of where the score line is. You just want it at the very bottom of that tag to make sure that you are going to have a good pop-up, because that's what's actually going to hold it in place, so that when you open it up, it pops out and kind of holds where they're supposed to go. And then I think this is just so cute and gives you such a great canvas to create a scene. I just think it's adorable. And like I said, with the stamp set, the Home Sweet Gnome from Sunny Studios, it's just adorable. With the pumpkin house and the little picket fence, just kind of brings it all together, like it's this whole little gnome family just chilling out. One of the things, if you get some, because I don't know why I decided to use, normally I would say to use liquid glue, but I was using my tape runner, and sometimes it would be out, you know, get onto kind of the side of the image or whatever I was putting down. You can actually use the rosin pad that you use when you do embossing, that I always forget to use when I'm actually heat embossing. But you can use that to kind of take the stickiness off of it. And then the last thing I did was on the bottom of it, I stamped, "What's up, Gnome?" because that cracked me up. And that is pretty much it. I finished it off with some Nouveau drops, and that's it. So you can see that the card was pretty simple. As far as putting it together, it wasn't too difficult. But I want to thank everyone for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care.